Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. Talk about the X's and O's. Talk and break down for the success of each team.
Slow your roll.
Whether he has something to do with it or not, we are adding that to the clock.
No team gonna freaking run the ball like that. That's challenging your manhood.
Not too much.
People still remember that.
So look, I don't need to hear anything from you, Mike.
It's been a crazy week for college football.
They value seniority.
When they're looking at the schedule, that's a tough schedule. Go beat everyone.
You already know.
Let's go.
You already know.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by me, your boy Cleveland Mike, man, and also produced by Walt K Disney. Pray for Cam. He's under the weather right now, man, and hopefully we can get him back next week, man. But Disney, man, let these people know what they need to do starting off.
Yes, before we get into the show, make sure y'all go ahead, like, share, and make sure you're subscribing because, look, we're coming at you with some hard-hitting and some new information, especially coming in today. It looks like we got a pretty full schedule for today. So, Mike, you want to just go ahead and jump right into it?
Yeah, man.
So, I'm sure everybody know. We got a Super Bowl coming up. We're just a few days away in anticipation for the big game between San Francisco, the 49ers, and the Chiefs from Las Vegas is wrapping up to historic levels. So Pat, he's looking to win his third title in the last 5 years, while the 49ers are eyeing revenge on their last Super Bowl loss, 54, I believe it was, look to claim their first franchise champ since 1994. The 49ers, I believe they remain a slight favorite. So I'm personally going to have to go with the 49ers because I'm tired of the Chiefs. I'm just tired of them. So, and like my coworker says, anyone but the Chiefs. I think that the Niners will have to throw them off balance and not allow them to get into the rhythm, and also watch Kelsey. We'll see because that's Pat's. That's Mahomes' go-to guy every time they get into a bind. So, Mike, what you think coming into this?
Man, I'm actually I don't have a dog in the fight, man. My team is the Steelers. You know, I'm repping the Steelers all the time, so I don't have a dog in the fight. I will be, rooting for my guys, my Ohio State guys, Chase Young and Nick Bosa for the 49ers. But hey. How can it's Black History Month, man? How can I go against the black quarterback too? So, hey, however it goes, I think I'm in a win-win, So it is what it is, man. But I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. 49ers have been building a team that gets right there. And the last time, they lost, they had Jim Harbaugh as their coach. Maybe this time they get over the hump, but right now, it just seems like Pat Mahomes is on his Tom Brady run. So, you know how that can be.
Yep, I definitely understand. That's why I said I'm getting tired of him. Pat, he's becoming a Tom Brady to me, and you know how Tom was back in the day. So yeah. I'm ready for somebody
and don't forget
else.
About the Swifties. The Swifties are definitely rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah, their revenue went up just from Taylor Swift. Yep. Being at the games, like that's crazy. The amount of jerseys they've sold, the amount of money they've made just by Taylor Swift coming to the game. So that's why I said I know Vegas is busy and humming right now. I mean, I wish I could be there, but I can't afford it. So, but
you sure?
No, look, not in this economy. That inflation hitting hard, bro. Definitely hitting hard. So let's jump back into some college football. Nick Saban, what's good? I thought you was enjoying your hiatus from college football world, and now look, it looks like he'll be gearing up to join ESPN's College Game Day. He's only been retired less than a month, but he's already agreed to his next gig. It was announced today that Saban will be joining the Game Day crew starting this fall, and now not only will he be appearing weekly for the Game Day crew, he will serve as an analyst for the upcoming NFL draft and SEC Media Day. So I think this is a massive grab for ESPN as they continue to battle Fox and its big noon kickoff. because it looks like, I mean, they have been leading in college football games for the lead-in across the country, and now it seems like with ESPN taking over the rights to the SEC, a move to bring Saban aboard, I think it makes perfect sense. So we'll see what happens this upcoming season. Mike, what do you think? Do you think that College Game Day might jump Big Noon?
I mean, I think it's already up there, but shout out my guy C-Ball in the chat. Why? Here's the thing. I think it's a great move by ESPN, and I know exactly where they're trying to go. But before we get into that, man, if you're not outside, when I say outside, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not like, if you just expect to get all of your information from national media, and thinking that you're hearing it first there, you're not, bro. On Twitter, somebody had posted this a while back that Nick Saban quietly inked a deal with ESPN and that he was going to be retiring at the end of the season. I believe this was on a message board and somebody had posted it out. This is back like December 12th when this was posted, right? So what they're doing, like everything I've been calling game day, like the pageantry of the pregame college football, right? Whereas Big Noon, what they were doing, they were talking X's and O's. You got Urban breaking down all of that. Now this is what Nick Saban is going to do. They're literally going to probably have a segment where Nick Saban's breaking down film. I think it's genius. I think it's something that they could do to compete, because a lot of people were going over there kicking it with Big Noon Kickoff, man. And I'll still be watching Big Noon Kickoff, but I watch football on multiple TVs, so I'll probably have them both on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a SEC diehard fan, but I honestly enjoy Big Noon Kickoff. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So it's gonna be hard. I respect the GOAT.
Yeah, gotta respect the GOAT, man. And it just seemed like dang, it seemed like Diz froze on me. But definitely gotta respect the GOAT. And just watching Nick Saban golfing for National Signing Day. I thought that was amazing, bro. So shout out Nick Saban being able to go golfing on National Signing Day, because that's not something that he's been able to do. So, shout out Nick Saban. I don't know if Disney is still froze or what's going on. So we're going to let her get that fixed. But while we go, man, hey, today was National Signing Day. And a lot of y'all, I don't know what to tell you. Ohio State is up there, bro. Ohio State is doing amazing things. National Signing Day. So I went ahead, I put together two of the rankings, because everybody now, it's like, what do you go by, right? Nobody knows what to go by. Do you go by the overall ranking? Do you go by the transfer portal ranking? Do you go by the high school recruiting ranking? So I went ahead and I jotted down both the overall and the high school, because I think that those are the two that means the most. And overall, man, you still got Georgia coming in at number 1, Bama at 2, Ohio State at 3, Oregon at 4, Texas at 5, Miami at 6, Auburn at 7, Notre Dame at 8, LSU at 9, and Florida State at 10. I think that man, you're starting to see. What up, Diz? Diz is back, y'all. Diz is back. I don't know what happened.
Hey, this ain't no plug, but Xfinity, what is you doing, bro? But anyway, my bad, Mike. Go ahead.
Nah, it happens. It happens. So, Georgia still coming out on top at number 1. And then you think Nick Saban left, 30-day window, all of these people should be gone. That's not what happened. Alabama still finishes with the number 2 class by 24/7's composite when I checked before the show. And then you got Ohio State coming in at number 3. Now, those are your top 3 dogs that you have always known what they're going to do. But what Dan Lanning's doing at Oregon, seeing Oregon up there, I think that's amazing. You got Texas coming in at 5. What Sark is doing, and then bringing that momentum and building on that momentum as they go into the SEC. And then Miami, they've been in the top 10 the past couple of years, so we should see something out of them this year. They've been stockpiling the talent. So I mean, when you're talking about blue chip ratios and what these teams should be able to do with those type of recruits, Miami should be one of those top teams up there. And then Auburn, man, what Auburn's been doing since they got Hugh Freeze there. Hey, whether they throwing the bag at the guys or whatever, they getting it done. And then Notre Dame at 8, finishing off. Well, Marcus Freeman is building up there is amazing, especially with all of the academic stuff that they have to deal with. Still Notre Dame coming in at 8. LSU at 9 and Florida State at 10, Brad. So I think it was a good national signing day. I didn't really see any controversy going on the timeline or anything like that. So early signing day is where it's at. And here's the thing. They're talking about moving early signing day up to where it could be like August, September.
Wow, that's major.
That is major. So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, because what it'll do is it helps the coaches. But does it help the players when you go ahead, you sign, and then the coach could be fired or anything like that? And then again, you have to deal with something that we'll end up talking about later. We could go ahead and go into that next segment, man, about, are these young coaches done with college football?
Are they? I mean, why are so many of them leaving for the NFL? It's like following Jim leaving, he sent shockwaves and decided to go ahead and go to the Chargers. His move back to the professional ranks, several other prominent college football coaches and coordinators followed. So I believe Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley, who spent 4 seasons leading the Eagles, recently accepted a job for the Packers. And I know Mike will definitely talk about that and, what he says. And then you got Kentucky's Cohen and USC Kingsbury. They just made the move back to professional ranks, agreeing to become offensive coordinators too at Tampa Bay and Washington. So is this because of how the world of college football has changed, and now coaches are having to become more of like a CEO, as they say? That's what I hear a lot. I hear a lot of people talking about being CEOs for their school in regards to NIL deals and raising money. Mike?
Yeah, that's exactly what Jeff Hafley talked about, man. He got into this to coach football, and he felt like he had to sit down with boosters, collectives, figure out fundraising and things like that. And that's, a general manager's job, not a football coach job. And also, he talked about being on the road where one morning he wakes up in one state, next morning, not next morning, in the same day, you wake up in one state, go to another state for lunch, then for dinner in another state, and all to see only 3 people. You're not seeing multiple recruits, just three recruits that you just, So I understand it, and this is something that is that's going to have to change. It's something that's going to have to change, and I think we're going to get into 2 of the conferences that are thinking about doing something, because the NCAA is just allowing this to be the Wild Wild West, not really putting any restrictions on it. And it's just saying like, hey, since y'all won in court, we're just going to screw you guys over with the way we make these rules and the way we make these timelines for you all. So, you're going to see, Josh Pate talked about it. You're going to end up seeing a lot of coaches end up leaving the college game until they get it together, man. And I think that is going to be bad for the game of college football, because you've been seeing a lot of guys being NFL ready, right? And you're not seeing all of the gimmicks, just regular, just guys just only being able to just do college. Like they're able to be a rookie and go ahead and make a splash like you see a CJ Stroud, one of the hardest positions on the football field. And just what he's saying is like I have more responsibility at Ohio State than I did here, So I mean, it's telling you like these guys are getting ready. Like you don't want a Ryan Day to leave college football because of what's happening. You don't want a Jeff Hafley to leave. He's a great defensive mind. And here's the thing. If as Jeff Hafley, if you have built this senior team, you develop these guys or whatever, and they look good, they junior year or whatever, or they sophomore year, and then what? Another bigger team in Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama is going to say, hey, I want that offensive lineman or I want that star wide receiver you had, and they're gone. And then also, like at Boston College, can you really compete with that? So,
especially for these smaller schools who don't have that much money, for sure. You can't get those 5-star, 4-star recruits anymore. So, but speaking of, I know you were talking about the SEC and Big Ten versus the NCAA. You know that I'm sure people know that the SEC announced that it was forming a joint advisory group with the Big Ten in the efforts to address the challenges now facing, particularly college football. But in the past, getting the SEC and the Big Ten to work together on issues like the NIL and the transfer portal was usually it was hard. They never found common ground. So now you can tell like this last season definitely weighed in on the college football world. And like you said, the NCAA is just letting it go all over the place right now. So we'll definitely see. Are these two conferences influential enough to motivate the NCAA, and can it also grab the attention of other conferences and bring them on the bandwagon? And if possible, or is there a possibility that the SEC and Big Ten could leave, and how will that blow up the college football world? Mike?
I think the NCAA is sweating bullets right now. You're talking about something where you could possibly be losing a lot of money. Like you said, the Big Ten and the SEC aren't known for really working together. Like the Big Ten went and said, hey, Pac-12, ACC, Big 12, let's do this alliance, right? And then now look at the Pac-12 with that alliance. So the Big Ten and the SEC came out and said, hey, this is not an alliance deal. This is just advisory. And, man, what can this shape up to be is what I start thinking about when I hear about the SEC and the Big Ten, because to me, it's like SEC and Big Ten versus the NCAA, right? And it's like, hey, you won't grasp anything to fix this. We'll do it ourselves, or see and talk about if we can do it ourselves. Now, Gene Smith, the Ohio State athletic director, he'll be out come July. He talked about, why don't we give college football to the College Football Playoff Committee and take it away from the NCAA? And then also, when you're talking about paying players, right? Like the NCAA has been getting revenue off of this football. Now you take that away from the NCAA. They're not getting revenue from this anymore or whatever. Now you have some extra money. You can go ahead and start doing that revenue sharing. And this is something where the SEC and the Big Ten, because right now you got to remember, the following playoff, you only got this 12-team playoff for 2 years. And there are people trying to hold up the discussions for the future. People who are in conferences like the Pac-2. I don't even understand how you even have a voice. Like everybody out the Pac-12 except for 2 of y'all. You shouldn't even have a voice talking about you want some money. And I think what this is about to do is you're about to have like the SEC and Big Ten is about to be like AFC and the NFC in pro football. it's like hop on board or get left behind. And also, these are the only two conferences when you're talking about actually doing revenue share. These are the only two conferences who can actually do that and sustain it as well. So when you're talking about the top players, they're not going to be looking over there at the ACC no more. They're not going to be looking over there at the Big 12 anymore. Why? Because soon as I sign to one of these conferences, I know I automatically get this type of paycheck. And that's not something that these other schools and these other conferences can deal with. So this I think could change college football forever. Also, you had the Big Ten commissioner coming out and saying that there's a 6-team college football playoff model. Now, this advisory committee, you're going to have, I think it's a good thing because what you're hearing is ESPN is trying to buy up the rights or whatever for the college football playoff going for like the next decade. And I don't like that because I want to be able to see Fox get some games. I want to be able to see Joe Klatt and Gus Johnson call a college football playoff game. I think it's criminal that we have not had that. So, I mean, I know right here on the Fans Edge, y'all definitely have heard me speak on that plenty of times. So I think that this is good that the two big dogs are able to come to the table, talk it out, try to work it out. I think that this is really good for college football.
It might not happen fast, but at least they're working towards it. So,
I mean, it's going to happen in 2 years. I mean, we have no choice but for it to happen in 2 years because you only got the 12-team playoffs for 2024 and 2025. Soon as 2026 hit, we have to have a new model going into that year. And here's the thing. If the NCAA wants to save face, they have the opportunity. They have the opportunity this offseason to fix the timeline to make it better for the coaches and the players. They have the opportunity to fix the language of the NIL things. Because like now, I don't know what's going on with your school in Tennessee. I thought it was like Tennessee was going to be able to get out of this because it's NIL. But apparently it's so egregious that in court, y'all, they dismissed your case. They said, y'all ain't even got no case to fight. Tennessee.
We ain't even a dog in the fight anymore.
Man, yeah. Hey, they about to come down pimp slap y'all like they about to do Michigan.
Woo. Don't put us in the same category. Don't do us. Not too much. Not too much.
But I mean, you find so many issues. Like, just think about what just happened, right? And maybe this round it wasn't so bad where I guess it was only 2 teams truly affected, right? And that was probably Washington and Alabama, but probably not Bama as much, right? But your coach, when they resign, you have 30 days to enter the portal.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me because it's like that coach that's coming in don't even get a chance. Don't even get a chance sometimes to talk to the players before they even get a chance to hit the portal. Don't even get a chance to say, hey, this is how I see you fitting into this offense or this defense. Don't even get that chance. And then it's like, man, I could be on a rebuild just because my guys got 30 days to hit the portal. And so, you know, especially like Ohio State fans, Ryan Day can't beat that team up north. Ryan Day not doing that. I want to get rid of Ryan Day. Okay, you could sit here right now. Ohio State has nobody that you can elevate to head coach right now if Ryan Day was to be fired or left. So you're going to end up getting someone from the outside. Yes, they could be a former Ohio State player or anything, but they could be from the outside. If you think that players are just not going to hit that portal, you are crazy. And I know people are saying, oh, well, it was Nick Saban effect and everything like that. Regardless, these players are going to leave. Trust me. I mean, it's just the way it is. So I hope that the SEC and the Big Ten Advisory Committee can get that figured out sooner rather than later.
Exactly. And like you were saying, especially during that 30-day window, it's just not you deciding if you want to stay with your regular team. There's other teams out there that's throwing NIL money at you while, especially in the transfer portal, as soon as they know that is an opportunity or a chance that they can get you and you're a hot commodity, oh, they throwing bukus of money at you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're exactly right, Mike. Well, speaking of coaching and play calling, Ohio State's football season has been anything but idle. And this morning they held a press conference. I didn't get the chance to catch it, but Mike, I know you was all in tune, taking notes and all of that. So, what happened? What do the people need to know?
Man, Ohio State's just been having this crazy offseason, and a lot of people have told us Ohio State's dying. Ohio State's dead. Ohio State is broken. Ohio State is irrelevant. Like, that's what all I kept hearing. But then all you saw, even after the little loss to Mizzou, shout out to Mizzou, they got their little win or whatever, right? Shout out to my wife. But all you've seen is Ohio State is relevant. They've been killing it all off season, and they've been killing it in the portal. They had a lot of guys on that team that they haven't had in a long time, like guys who are within the first, second, third round projections come back for another year. We normally don't have that at Ohio State. Like, if you're good enough to be 3 and done, you're gone. So for these guys to be able to come back, have a veteran season, I'm excited about it, man. What OG Walt, as we like to call him, is doing with the cornerback room is just crazy. Also, how he was able to land Caleb Downs and having that previous relationship with Downs and his family. And then Brian Hartline, what he continues to do. So you got two amazing recruiters. So, Ryan Day talked about that. Hey, we got two great recruiters, but, it's some other things that we have to work on, some different fundamentals, some different techniques, some different things that, like I've been critical of the wide receivers in blocking, and they need to be a little bit more physical. Hey, we recruiting guys, to be first-round wide receivers, but we want them to be more physical. We need to see more out of them. And then the big elephant in the room that everybody wants to know is Bill O'Brien. Is he going to Boston College? All of the rumors. And there's so many things going on. You heard they were finalizing the deal. We heard this like last week. They were finalizing the deal. Bill O'Brien is the guy. They're talking money. We should hear some on Monday, right? We hear nothing. Now we're hearing that there's a couple candidates, all of this stuff, right? And we're going to find out this weekend. I just feel like if he was the front runner, if he was the guy, they'd already have him. So they're obviously considering some other people for this job. I don't know how to think about it. I can say this. One thing that Ryan Day kept doing, though, was he kept talking about Bill O'Brien as if Bill O'Brien was still planning on being there. And what he was talking about with the play calling and why he hired Bill O'Brien. And then also what he's talking about what Bill O'Brien is currently working on and doing for the offense now. Obviously the guy has a job. He has a job to do before, if he gets hired as the Boston College coach. And you hear about the personal reasons. I don't want to get into that because he hasn't said it. And I haven't really heard it from nothing official saying that could be the reason. So I don't even want to get into all of the personal issues, with his family. I don't even think that's warranted. But, Ryan Day talked about stepping back from play calling, and he didn't want to just give it to anybody. Bill O'Brien has it. And a lot of people, including myself, thought, hey, we're getting Bill O'Brien, and I don't like a lot of his offense. I don't like his, certain things about his offense I just think don't make no sense, right? But that's not what he is coming to Ohio State to do, as Ryan Day said. He's here to run the Ohio State offense and then also implement some of his strengths. And this is what I talk to people about. I said, if it's Bill O'Brien, being able to implement some of his strengths into the Ohio State offense, it's a match made in heaven. And, Ryan Day talked about working with the special teams, taking a step back, being able to look at all different parts of the football team, talking about being in game, knowing when to take a timeout to stop momentum, and just all of those different things. Like that's what a head coach needs to be. And you heard the beat writers continue to ask and talk to him about the play calling. Like, are you realizing that head coaches now, even at the college level and NFL level, like you basically have to be a general manager now?
Yeah.
And Ryan Day, he's starting to get accustomed to that. And my biggest worry is that what he really wants to do? Because he's known as an offensive play caller, known as an offensive genius, and that's just something that he loves doing. And like Jeff Hafley said, I want to coach football. Didn't want to be a GM. I want to coach football. So there's not a whole lot of coaching that you're doing when you're just being the CEO. So.
Do you think it's going to be a hard or a huge adjustment to see him step back from that?
I do believe it's going to be a hard thing for him to step back on, and I don't think that he's just going to give the reins over. Like I said, if Bill O'Brien's not the guy, he said, "Hey, we've had we've interviewed coaches and we'll have a contingency plan on that," and he did say. It's not gonna, like I'm not just gonna give the play calling to anybody. So someone asked him, "Hey, how do you feel about stepping away completely?" And he said, "I can't say that because I haven't done it yet." Right. So like this is his baby, and it's like, hey, until I know that you can nurture, care, do all the things that you're supposed to do with my baby, until I trust you, then that. It's probably not going to happen. He doesn't just want anybody out there calling his plays. He felt that Bill O'Brien had the experience and also the knowledge. One thing that he talked about, and this is something that I guess we have to talk about because it was the biggest issue for Ohio State, is the quarterback position. And I think Ryan Day second guessed himself in that. And then it was also funny because a coach who was rumored to be on the list of Ohio State offensive coordinators had talked about, if I got two quarterbacks that are even, and then I got one guy that's older and the younger guy, and they're even, I'm going with the younger guy because you don't know what the future holds. So you go with the young guy. And Ryan Day didn't do that. He went with with Kyle McCord. So and I think he second guessed himself in that. And then you got Devin Brown out there playing a dual threat quarterback, which isn't his strong suit, but he wanted to do it for the team. And now you get a Bill O'Brien that kind of helps you with those type of things where you don't got to second guess yourself. Bill O'Brien saying, "Hey, no, I think this guy is better. Let's go with him." Because you heard about the vote and it was close and it was even or not even, but close to being even, right? So I think right there, Bill O'Brien, he could cut the politics out. I really hope that he doesn't go to Boston College, but if he does, I understand. As a father, I understand. So, if he goes to Boston College, it is what it is. But the one thing that I like about Bill O'Brien is I think he will hold all of the other coaches responsible. Like I've talked about the wide receivers needing to block better. That's something that he can hold them responsible for. The O-line play, I think that he can help and mentor a Justin Fry who can get better at O-line play and development and things like that. So, I mean, I hope he stays. But one thing that Ryan Day said, he wants someone who has hell of experience and also that NFL experience as well. But one thing that he did say about these quarterbacks, and I'm not starting anything. I know how Ohio State fan base likes to do. My thing is this. I want the best guy to play. That's where I want to go. But right now, it seems like Ryan Day is saying that Devin Brown has that heads up because he's been in this offense before. He knows it, and he's looking healthy, looking good. Came back healthy from his whole ankle injury that he had in the 2023 season. Also, he talked about Bill Howard. He said the guy is, it all starts with Coach Mick in the weight room, doing all of the workouts, all the conditioning. And he just said Bill Howard's out there working, man, and that he's a big guy. Also, from the QB position, you don't want Ryan Day doesn't want a guy who's just not mobile, who's just going to sit back there in the pocket. But here's the thing. He told us that after we lost the Georgia game and said, hey, from here on out, this is how the quarterback is going to play here at Ohio State. But you picked a quarterback who could not do that.
Who can't do it at all.
So, so it's like, hey, man, I don't know. Sometimes we get Ryan Day. One time we get Lion Day. So I don't know which one that's going to be. But I see we got some questions up there. You want to throw them up there, read them out?
Yeah. So popping back up to the top, do you think there's a chance that Day could be considering a coaching position for the 49ers or Chiefs?
I'm guessing that you're asking, like, could he be considering that position coach from the 49ers? Chiefs? I mean, there's always a possibility. With that, my whole thing is most of the time, if it's a coordinator coming from or a position coach or someone coming from there, they're probably being elevated somewhere else in the NFL. And then you gotta have a guy who's gonna want to come here and want to recruit, right? They have to be able to, like, recruiting is the lifeblood. So you can't just get anybody. Like, I remember Urban Meyer got a Billy Davis to be the linebacker coach. He had all this NFL experience. But I remember one of his press conferences talking about, I'm not going out of my way for these guys or to teach these guys. They got to come to me. You're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids. No, you have to go out of your way to coach them. Right? So, you got to be careful with that. You got to, have guys who are ready to deal with those teenagers, ready to deal with those young guys who have a lot of emotions and going through a lot of stuff, man. OG Walt coming and being a position coach, that's something that he's wanted to do. And he loves doing it, but it's also at his alma mater, so that helps. Brian Hartline, same thing, being a player in the NFL. The way he teaches his wide receivers, he said, I don't teach them to be college wide receivers. I teach them to be NFL wide receivers. So, I mean, you just got to make sure that you get those right guys. But if they playing in the Super Bowl, man, I just feel like, hey, they're probably looking for their next NFL position, man.
Exactly. It looks like Troy V. I expected more from Hartman, but he was so hamstrung by the wide receivers. Did you guys address that this offseason, Mike? Now that we ain't playing, I really hate Notre Dame just breaking your balls.
I tried to tell people the whole Sam Hartman thing, I really didn't understand it. A lot of Notre Dame fans were very, very high on Sam Hartman. I didn't understand it. They say that he was hamstrung by the wide receivers. I don't really think that was that, man. I just don't think that Sam Hartman's going to be that type of quarterback. I think you're going to see it, like, when he gets to the NFL, like, it's not going to be, like, he's not one of those type of quarterbacks. But I think Notre Dame has a very impressive schedule this year. That'll probably fool some people. So I think they'll end up getting into the playoffs because of their schedule. I think that this quarterback right here is going to be better than Sam Hartman. I think Leonard Riley is definitely going to be better.
Cam, Mike, who is the next special teams coordinator hired for OSU?
The next special teams coordinator sounds like it's going to be Matt G. People gonna go, oh, they're gonna clip me up for that. I know they're gonna clip me up for that. But what Ryan Day said, talking about special teams, he wants to start working and helping out with special teams. But Matthew, I can't say. I'm just gonna call him Matt G. I can't say his last name right now. But Matt G is going to be helping out with the special teams, and then also, I guess, working with safeties and helping out Tim Walton as well. So we'll see. I guess it's going to be a collaboration of different guys, probably a James Laurinaitis helping out with the special teams. But I like it. I think it's good. Maybe you'll be able to have these guys, someone be able to keep an eye on the punters, the kickers, and then someone being able to keep an eye on, hey, kick return, kickoffs, or another guy, or Ryan Day himself working on the kickoffs and punt returns and stuff like that. Also, I think, getting someone back there who can allow the playmaker to be the returner, especially in punt returns. I feel like there's been plenty of times where we've had the opportunity to return the ball for a touchdown, but we don't have the guy back there to do it. And I think that we do have those guys on the roster. I just want to see them go out there and do it. All right. Oh, my God. J-Buck said, we finally go 6 deep in the wide receiver room. I'm going to put it to you like this. If they're not just as good as Marv, why would I not take them off of the field? I'll say this, man. If it's Bill O'Brien, I think you will see some rotation from those wide receivers. I think that he will create packages for guys' skill set and being able to use them. I'll tell you this, J-Buck, we need to go 6 deep. You're talking about a season that could be, 17 games, if not more? 17 games you're talking about. So if you're playing 17 games and you got these wide receivers running crazy, you're not going to get that whole month off or whatever that you did going to Georgia, where they were able to recuperate their legs and look a little bit faster after they got dead legs. So you're going to need to go ahead and rotate those guys. And that's one thing that I think that Bill O'Brien was good at. Like Brian Hartline always wants his wide receivers, oh, you got to be this route runner, you got to be that, and all of this crap, right? No, use the guy's skill set. J-Mo was a freak athlete. He was fast as hell. Bill O'Brien got that man the ball in space all the time, and he'd take a slant to the house. How hard is that? Come on, man. We got to be able to do that. Got to.
Doug said we got a crystal ball for the number 1 ranked safety for 25. Is that the Matt G effect or a coincidence?
Here's my thing, man. Here's my thing. Matt G, I hope that he is a phenomenal coach here at The Ohio State. Hope that he is elite. But my thing is I feel like a lot of people are just doing this, the whole Matt G stuff. Like, he just got here. He hasn't really, he's starting to build those relationships, and he has relationships with some of the guys that's already on the team. But in recruiting, like, he's having to rebuild those relationships and things like this, whereas OG Walt has already done that. I mean, our cornerback offer, who just committed, his father was tweeting out to the number 1 safety, come get taught by OG Walt. So when I hear Matt G is probably working with special teams and things like that, and Tim Walton's job is secondary coach, it has me thinking, is Tim Walton the one that's working with the secondary and got the safeties looking better? And because he did that in the NFL as well. So, I mean, my whole thing is it Matt G or is it OG Walt? And I'm not going to take credit away from OG Walt, especially when you got people sitting here saying, like, OG Walt. Like, I mean, Caleb Downs was saying OG Walt. Like, I mean, so that's just where I go with it, man. But like, more power to the dude. Hope he's elite. Right now, he's just an unknown, and we're going to have to see what he can do. We're going to have to see if he can develop. We're going to have to see if he can recruit, and we're going to find out. So I hope he's that guy. I think Diaz froze up again, folks. Let's see what else we got here. Ohio State quarterback coach is gone too, right? Well, we don't know that yet, Mike. We are still trying to figure that out right now. So once we figure that out, then I'll let you know. I will let you know. Matt G is the only reason Caleb Downs joined from sources I know. I know that. I mean, from the sources I know, that's what I hear too, Cam. I feel you, Mike. I like Perry too, but he wasn't recruiting at a high level. Hey, you won't hear me disagreeing with that either, Doug. I mean, I'm not mad that Perry's gone. I'm not mad at it at all. If he couldn't recruit, he couldn't recruit. If that's what Ryan Day was asking him to do, couldn't do. But I'll tell you this. If you can't recruit, one thing that I hope you can do is develop. Now, I don't know if it was OG Walt developing the safeties or if it was Perry, but I mean, from what I could tell, he was a pretty good developer. I saw some people who weren't, some players, some recruits, were a little sad that he was gone. So, shout out to Perry. I hope that, he does his thing, but think about it. It's kind of hard for you to recruit safeties when your resume say, I put this cornerback in the league. So, I mean, like I said, from the beginning when we first hired him, I said that I was confused by that he was going to have to get his, resume up about putting safeties in the league. So, I mean, hey, whoops. She back, y'all.
I know my internet. I'm telling you.
It is OG Watt. Matt G sounds like the dude. Yep. And I don't think I got anything else. So, way too early, man. You got any surprise teams that you're keeping up with? Way too early. Any surprise?
Way too early. I mean, you know me. I'm at Alabama. I got ties to Alabama, so I'm really interested to see what Alabama can do, especially after this huge shakeup with Saban leaving, and we got coaches coming in, new players, people leaving. So I'm really just following Alabama closely right now. But I'm really interested in seeing what Florida State can do. I think they still have potential this upcoming year. So, like I said, this is way too early surface stuff. So I haven't even dug deep yet. And I always got Tennessee on my radar as well. So GBO always. Mike.
Tennessee surprise? You mean NCAA? That's what they about to. That's what they about to change y'all name to. Not Tennessee. This NCAA University over here.
It really.
My surprise team. We talked about this in Spaces. Guys who've been in Spaces with me. We talked about this a few days ago. But Rutgers is going to be my surprise team. I think that their schedule is very favorable. You saw what they did to Miami in the bowl game. And, shout out to all those Miami fans who told me that the only team that Ohio State plays or that we play in the Big Ten is Rutgers. But Rutgers bullied you all on the field. So shout out to them. You can put me on the record on that one, too. But I think Rutgers has a favorable schedule. They won 9 games or 8 games last year. I mean, they have the chance if they return those seniors and they keep their guys. Greg Schiano develops very well. Their schedule is very favorable for them to surprise teams. Now, will they get to the playoffs or anything? I don't think so. But they can win 9-10 games, man. I wouldn't be shocked.
Miami going 7-5 again?
Hey, if they go 7-5 with that schedule, they have to fire Mario Cristobal, especially with the way that they're recruiting, the talent that they have. You have to go ahead and get rid of Mario Cristobal ASAP if they go 7-5. That's flat out.
What about Nebraska, Mike?
Nebraska, I'm not buying it. They got a freshman quarterback, bro. I'm not even going to say what I want to say.
Put it on the record, bro.
But no, Kirk Herbstreit, he's a freaking weirdo because he's always trying to freaking hop on teams that's up and coming or something. Like he hopped on the Dabo and Clemson train so much he sent his sons there, and then his son ended up transferring to Ohio State. Like, come on, man. Like he's a weird dude. You sat there and called Dylan Raiola's dad to say, "Oh, I think he should leave Georgia and go to Nebraska. That's the move." What? Don't go to Georgia? Kirby is so weird, bro. He is weird.
Hey, they said Penn State.
Hey, Penn State. Okay, so here's my Big Ten dilemma, and I want to get out of here on this. It's setting up in the Big Ten where in the first year we have no divisions. We will have to figure out or find out what a tiebreaker is, right? Penn State and Oregon do not play each other, and I have those being the top 3 teams this year. Sorry, Team Up North fans. I don't have y'all up there. I think y'all going to lose 3-4 games. Put me on the record. Yeah. So 3 teams in the Big Ten will be Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. One of those teams could go undefeated, which Ohio State plays Penn State and Oregon. So let's say Oregon and Penn State both lost to Ohio State, right? But they win every other game. They're both 11-1. And Ohio State's undefeated. Which team goes in to the Big Ten championship? Now, in the Big Ten championship, you're fighting for that bye week, right? But if you lose that, if you lose that game and you end up, instead of being 11-1, you're 11-2, could that possibly hurt your seeding, especially if you lose by double digits or lose bad, a player gets hurt or something like that can hurt your seeding. And then, like I said, you're fighting for a bye week, right? But if you don't make it and you're sitting there 11-1 and you don't make it, you already got your bye week, and you probably got good seeding. You probably got good seeding. So I think that this is going to be a very interesting season for the Big Ten because I do think that Oregon is setting up to be that team, like literally fighting Ohio State for that number 1 spot for sure. I think that you could possibly see an Ohio State Oregon matchup. They go up against each other early in the season, and then they could possibly face each other again in the Big Ten championship. Everybody's coming in saying that Oregon's going to be running this conference or whatever, but all I'm going to say is make sure you tweet that out, and so we can go ahead and keep that on the record books, because I don't want y'all deleting y'all stuff. Keep that out. Yeah, make sure y'all put yourselves on the record, because everybody like to do all this talking and stuff, but not everybody like to go on the record. Right here at the Fans Edge, we like to go on the record.
Exactly. I know you said we're getting ready to head out, but one more question did pop up in the chat right now. Do you think that Washington lost too much to compete next year?
Yes, I do. You mean you're talking about you lost your quarterback, you probably lost your star wide receiver, you lost the wide receivers coach, you lost you lost the head coach, you lost everything, man. Yeah, you definitely you're starting over up there. I understand who they brought in, but you're coming into the Big Ten, man. And I'm telling you, like, yes, like Oregon, they've been telling me about, our trench has been good. Our trench has been good for years. And yes, your trenches have been good for years in the Pac-12. It's allowed you to do that. But I just think that it's a different beast in the Big Ten. Like, that's one thing that the Big Ten has prided itself on is trench development. You're talking about think about Wisconsin and Iowa, the nobodies that, like nobody knew about these guys. These guys were no stars or 3 stars, right? And below. And they put them guys in the league like clockwork. Even Northwestern does. Illinois does. Like, you can say what you want about the Big Ten, but the trenches, man, I think it's different there. And then you're talking about an Ohio State team that returned everybody on their D line except for Michael Hall. That's it. And then you're talking about on the O line, they returned everybody except for Matthew Jones, and then added Alabama center, who's graded better than our center. So I mean, like, there's a lot of talent on this team, man, especially in the trenches. And then let's not also talk about the guys that's behind those starters, and some of those guys are actually competing to knock some of those starters or those guys who were starters off. So I think that this is setting up to be a really amazing season for Ohio State. But like I said, I'm not taking no digs away from Oregon. And my guy Mike Green, what up to you, Mike, man? Hey, enjoy that sun out there on that yacht, man. You about to have that wedding, about to tie the knot. Welcome to the club, man. You'll be sitting here spinning your ring like I do. Just make sure you get one of these silicone rings, bro. Just make sure you get your little pack. You keep one in the car. You keep one on your nightstand. You keep one. Hey, I'm telling you, Mike, trust me. I learned from experience, man. Just make sure you have one of these. And, because most of the time I only really wear my red ring, like when we going out stuff. These silicone rings, bro, the best.
You said you got one in every spot.
Hey, in every spot. I got one in my car, my wife's car. Yeah. One on the nightstand. Yep, for sure.
Hey, appreciate you, Mike, and congratulations, too, on that, for sure. Hey, but before we get out of here, if you have not, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Please do that and share for those. And if you missed missed part of the show, go back and watch the replay as well.
Right here on this platform, Best Damn Media, dropping a new podcast right here on this platform called Off Air. It is debuting tomorrow. Make sure you tap in. If you are not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. If you are subscribed, hit that notification bell so that way you know when we go live and when we drop content every time, man. We got big things coming here on Best Damn Media, bro. That new podcast just talking about everything. Everything's not just sports. We're bringing everything right here to this platform, man. So we'll be back here, Fans Edge, next Wednesday. And then make sure you check out Buckeye BS, the flag show right here every Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern in the morning, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, and Mike, before we head out, I'm sure the people know, but just in case, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at 216_wildboy. Catch me on the TL. I'm always on the TL, standing in the paint. I be in the spaces with my guy Terry, with Zeke, Best Damn Media, Cam be in there. We definitely going to have to be outside. Also, check the link. Follow us in the Discord because we got stuff popping on the Discord. Chris Drew is streaming on the Discord just about every night, going crazy. If you like video games, they got a whole gamer chat that they be doing every Saturday. So, man, I'm telling you, we doing big things right here at Best Damn Media. Make sure you tap in, bruh, and make sure you share.
Yes.
Share.
Make sure you share it. As for me, you can find me at Walt K Disney on all social media platforms. And with that, anything else we got? I believe we are out. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the Fans Edge Sports Show. Talk about the X's and O's. Talk and break down for the success of each team.
Slow your roll.